Well, howdy, folks. It is 7:30 on the 12th of February, 2022, and it's time for Cast Talks episode 68. So I'm a little nervous about our next episode considering the number that it's going to be, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. For now, I'm just going to worry about enjoying episode 68. Some of you may be aware of what I'm talking about, but did my input capture go out? Oh no. Has anyone even heard me at all? Chia, you're here. Have I been talking at all this time, or have I been muted the entire time? Because that would certainly be, that would certainly not be helpful to hear that, but I think I might have muted myself. You didn't hear me. Okay, well, not my favorite thing, but that's okay. Here, one moment. Well, Lord, it feels a bit of embarrassment for me, but we're back at least. So, let's get back to it. Either way, I don't know if foxes can so easily be serenaded, but I am very happy to play an instrument for an animal. I wonder if animals would like it if I went to play the saxophone for them. I don't know how they'd feel about that. I worry it's a bit too raucous of an instrument for them. Excuse me. Hey, streaming will message you when I'm done. There we go. Cool. Alright, folks, let's get back to it. New lightweight material from MIT scientists is stronger than steel and as light as plastic. I have no idea how that's possible, but let's look at it. Let's see for ourselves what's going on here. Using a novel polymerization process, MIT chemical engineers have created a new material. It can easily be manufactured in large quantities. The new material is a two-dimensional polymer that self-assembles into sheets, unlike all other polymers, which form one-dimensional spaghetti-like chains. Until now, scientists had believed it was impossible to induce polymers to form 2D sheets. Such a material could be used as lightweight, durable coating for car parts or cell phones, or as building material for bridges or other structures. You could probably put that in like body armor too, says Michael Strano, the Carbon P. Dubs professor of chemical engineering at MIT and the senior author of the news story. We don't usually think of plastics as being something that you could use to support a building, but with this material, you can enable new things, he said. It has very unusual properties, and we're very excited about that. The researchers have filed for 2 patents on the process they use to generate the material. Polymers, which include all plastics, consist of chains of building blocks called monomers. These chains grow by adding new molecules onto their ends. Once formed, polymers can be shaped into 3-dimensional objects, such as water, or water bottles, using injection molding. Polymer scientists have long hypothesized that if polymers could be induced to grow into a 2-dimensional sheet, they should form extremely strong, lightweight materials. However, many decades of work in this field led to the conclusion that it was impossible to create such sheets. One thing for this was that if just one monomer rotates up or down out of the plane of the growing sheet, the material will begin expanding in 3 dimensions and the sheet-like structure will be lost. However, in the new study, Strano and his colleagues came up with a new polymerization process that allows them to generate a two-dimensional sheet called a polyaramide for the monomer building blocks. They use a compound called melamine, which contains a ring of carbon and nitrogen atoms. Under the right conditions, these monomers can grow in 2 dimensions, forming disks. These disks stack on top of each other, held together by hydrogen bonds between the layers, which make the structure very strong and stable. Instead of making a spaghetti-like molecule, we can make a sheet-like molecular plane, where we get molecules to hook themselves together in 2 dimensions, Strano says. This mechanism happens spontaneously in solution, and after we synthesize the material, we can easily coat thin films that are extraordinarily strong. The researchers found that the new material's elastic modulus, a measure of how much force it takes to deform the material, is between 4 and 6 times greater than that of bulletproof glass. Holy moly. They also found that its yield strength, or how much force it can take to break the material, is twice that of steel, even though the material has only about 1/6 the density of steel. Holy moly. Another key feature of this new 2D PA1 is that it is impermeable to gases, while other polymers are made from coiled chains with gaps that allow gases to seep through. The new material is made from monomers that lock together like Legos, and molecules cannot get between them. This could allow us to create ultra-thin coatings that can completely prevent water or gases from getting through, Strano says. This kind of barrier coating could be used to protect metal in cars and other vehicles or steel structures. Strano and his students are now studying in more detail how this particular polymer is able to form 2D sheets, and they are experimenting with changes in its molecular makeup to create other types of novel materials. Gosh, that sounds fantastic. Imagine having like a perfect plastic coating or on your clothes or something else that just completely covers you head to toe almost, and you're kind of just like an impenetrable fortress walking around. You would need almost like a splint mail of that stuff. They'd be crazy. They'd be super crazy. That'd be bananas bonkers. Here's a good one. The curing moment, a chimpanzee mom applies an insect to her son's wound. The incredible world-first moments of a chimpanzee mom applying an insect to her son's wound have been caught on video. Researchers watched chimps in the wild in Gabon applying insects to their wounds and the wounds of loved ones. Susie, the chimp, was caught on camera inspecting a wound on her adolescent son. Sia swung before catching an insect out of the air, putting it in her mouth, pressing it between her lips, and applying it to the wound as her daughter, Cassandra, watches on. Scientists say it shows the primates can show love and empathy for each other just like humans. The footage was captured in November of 2019 by volunteer biologist Alessandra Mascaro in Loango National Park in the West African country. Researchers from the Ozoga Chimpanzee Project had been studying the group of chimps for 7 years, but had never seen anything like it before. After they made the discovery, they started looking for more evidence of this wound-tending behavior, and over the next 15 months they unearthed 76 examples of the same group applying insects to their own and each other's wounds. Later, they recorded their findings in a study published today in the journal Current Biology. It's not the first time animals have been seen treating themselves for ailments. Researchers have reported examples of bears, elephants, and bees doing similar things before. However, applying insects to wounds has never been seen in animals before, and the research say it is remarkable that chimps apply the tiny creatures to others as well as themselves. The academics say it is a very clear example of empathic, prosocial behavior, which is also seen in humans. It is not yet clear why insects are being used to treat illness and which creatures are being used. Oh, thank you so much, Tia, for your hearts. I appreciate it. Miss Mascaro said, in the video, you can see that Susie is first looking at the foot of her son, and then it's as if she's thinking, what could I do? And then she looks up, sees the insects, and catches it for her son. Suddenly, we have a species where we really see individuals caring for each other. Humans use many species of insect as remedies against sickness. There have been studies that show that insects can have antibiotic, antiviral, and anthelmintic functions. It's a tough one. Study authors Dr. Tobias Dreschner said, studying great apes in their natural environment is crucial to shed light on our own cognitive evolution. We need to still put much more effort into studying and protecting them, and also protecting their natural habitats. Let's see about this one. So I don't know how loud this will be. So here we have some animals. Hopefully they don't get up to anything weird. Yeah, she's actually performing triage on her son. Insectoid triage. Isn't that strange? I've never seen anything like that before, to be honest with you. I find that absolutely bizarre. But hey, I mean, you know, they're evolving in their own way, I suppose. Certainly strange to see monkeys doing that, though. Certainly strange. And here's another one. 1,000 doctors now prescribing nature by giving free admissions with national park passes. Possessing parallel tracts of stunning and unspoiled lands, Canadian healthcare practitioners are joining onto an American health movement to prescribe national parks to improve their patients' physical and mental well-being. PARX Canada now consists of over 1,000 physicians, nurses, and other medical professionals in BC, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Ontario, who can prescribe the annual Adult Parks Canada Discovery Pass from the Canadian Parks Authority, which is normally $72.25 annually for adult 18 to 64 and $61.75 for senior 65 plus. As a growing body of evidence began to find that being in nature can have a profound influence on our health and well-being, Park Prescriptions America began as a grassroots movement in the United States over a decade ago and has now spread to countries around the world. In the States, the program allows physicians to use zip codes to find nearby parks. To prescribe to patients. Once a script has been written through a simple software, it's easy for physicians to send reminders to fulfill it, and to track how many times a patient has visited the prescribed park. It's pretty curious. There are no costs to patients for participating in our program, a spokesperson for the PARX told GNN. Participating healthcare providers have the opportunity to prescribe an Adult Parks Canada Discovery Pass, which provides free admission to over 80 locations. PARX is hoping to expand the nature prescription to include transportation options that stop at or include parks on their transit lines. Finally, Well, generally, the idea of having a prescription, started, of course, with the idea of a medication or kind of a kind of ritual that you would need to do that would improve your own health. But the prescription of a travel service or of a visit to a certain place, I guess it's kind of similar to like getting a massage or going to a chiropractor. Seemingly less invasive, I would say, as well. And there's a lot worse places you can go than to a adult, like sort of a pleasure destination like this. A lot of these places are extremely catering to people who have all sorts of problems and are just looking to enjoy themselves for a little bit in nature. Love to see the fish there too. I have never been to Canada or to British Columbia. I do believe I'd like to go someday, though. It does look quite stunning, just from what we're seeing right now. So our next news story. Simple green LED lights save sharks and turtles from accidental bycatch in fishing nets. It's a very short one. Marine biologists have found that $8 green LEDs affixed to fishermen's gill nets were enough to dissuade huge amounts of sea animals like turtles, manta rays, and sharks from falling prey to these nets. Originally tested by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration on sea turtles off the coast of Hawaii, they are proving even more effective on Humboldt, squid, and the elasmobranch family, which contains sharks and rays. Gill nets are indiscriminate, and if a fisherman snags a thrashing shark, a 4-foot-long Humboldt squid, known in Spanish as the red devil, or an unwelcome stingray, it can be incredibly dangerous entangling them without outright harming them first. Termed bycatch, the catching of unsought marine life accounts for 40% of all net-caught animals around the world, and has been a major threat to sharks, rays, and turtles. Jesse Senko, a biologist at the State University of Arizona's School of Life Sciences, found that just a few green lights reduced the amount of elasmobranch and squid caught in fishermen's nests by 95% and 81%, respectively. The all-important loggerhead sea turtle was also bycaught 51% less frequently. Furthermore, even non-game species of fish steered clear of the green light more than in the unlit controlled nests. We're stunned with our findings, one researcher told Reuters. In their study published in Cell, Senko and the rest of the research team compared 5,000 lit nets to 5,000 unlit nets off the coast of the Baja Peninsula in Mexico, where several species of sharks and rays are declining due to bycatch, including the devil and manta rays. Somehow, even though regular non-game fish were reduced, there was no difference statistically in the amount of game species caught in the lit and unlit nets, meaning there was no change to fishermen's income. Regardless, the increased operational efficiency and reduction in total bycatch could justify the costs to fishers that convert to illuminated nets in case of high biodiversity and conservation importance. Governments and NGOs could subsidize their adoption, Senko wrote. In other gill net fisheries, net illumination has been estimated to cost as little as $16 to $35 to prevent a sea turtle bycatch event. We encourage conservation practitioners, fishery managers, and other stakeholders to work with industries to develop new technologies. Well, lovely. I've never even considered that fish might not like that, but it does make sense. I mean, if they are very focused on visual aspect like light and movement, especially during the night, seeing that light could seriously reduce the amount of appeal they have to joining any sort of area of water. Maybe they might think that like the green eyes and the LEDs are like somehow a predator or an enemy that they have to stay away from. That's my first guess, but it is just how to guess. Let's see, did I properly, huh? That's weird. Well, either way. Oh. I like this one a lot, actually. I might save that for a different day. Oddly enough, I'm feeling actually a bit of a Dwarf mood rather than a speaking mood. So here, let me get some Dwarf up, and we'll play that. Weird sometimes how you just feel more like playing a video game than you do actually talking about good news. We can still speak about a little bit of it as we're going through it, though. Thank you for your hearts, yeah. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're enjoying yourself so far. We're losing slightly, just a few frames there, my folks. Sorry about that. Let me come back to this one later. On to Dwarf we go. Well, 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 if it ain't the Dwarf romantic that I know and love. So we were kind of working on a high score before, but we didn't quite make it there, which, you know, totally alright. So let me put some good news on. An 80-year-old man walks through a blizzard to rescue 3 cars of people. Oh, lovely. I do like to hear when people do things that are seemingly impossible for them to have done otherwise. This one wants 13. Go this way. And this is a 55er. Minor 55er. I think this might do better over here, though. A retiree rescuer hiked half a kilometer through a winter whiteout to reach a woman that had used her social media to alert the local neighborhood that she was stuck and afraid for her safety. At 80 years old, Andre Bouvier, I think, Sr., is being hailed as a hero for rescuing not only the woman, but 3 other cars likewise stuck in an impassable blizzard, which locals describe as the Saskatchewan Screamer. Oh, that's a horrible name. That's the name of a terrible event. Many have had the same thought as Shannon St. Ong when looking at the approach of snow on a weather forecast, that they have time to finish their errands. The director of finance at the First Nations University of Canada, her signature on a check required her to drive her usual commute of 25 kilometers, 15 miles, from her home in Pence over the city of Regina. As she was leaving, the winter snow began to fall, and taking a dirt road for better traction on her tires, she quickly became lost with no ability to see more than a sliver of the road's edge from a rolled-down window. After a while, she stopped and called 911. with the operator suggesting she wait out the storm as her tank was full and she was warm. She, the operator, took my information and told me an officer would call me back almost 14 hours and counting. Nobody has called me yet to check in. She wrote in her Facebook page, "Oh no, that's not a good place to be." How far is this one? This one needs to be capped off. Would the gas tank last until morning? What if it was hit by another vehicle? What if I fell asleep and the tailpipe was blocked? What if I didn't make it home at all? St. Ong worried. Determined to ensure the safest and to return for the worse, she went out in the storm and discovered her location on a road sign, then found a neighborhood Facebook group for the area she was passing through, alerting those it contained of her plight through a Google Maps pin. Wow. So technology saved her butt that day. Butt-saving technology. That's when Andre Bouvier Sr., doing some at-home genealogy research, got a call about St. Ong's situation, and bundling up while ignoring his wife's concern for his safety, the 80-year-old went out to find her. On foot, since he couldn't manage to start his tractor. Might have been too cold for that, unfortunately. We're really close right there, actually. And this one will need to see more as well. On the way, he found that 3 other stranded vehicles, totaling 7 people, and walking the quarter-mile there and back, he led the helpless cars one by one to his home. Aw. What a true soldier. What a good guy. What a lad. Once we arrived to his house, and I parked the car, I got out and jumped into his arms and gave him a great big bear hug, the biggest squish. I was sobbing with gratitude. I was so grateful. Bouvier let the survivors sleep at his house, wherein they ate and laughed and departed the next morning after he had plowed the driveway. This guy's a champion. Bouvier remarked that everyone would have done the same, and that it took very few thoughts or courage to help. That was lovely. So let's see. I think this is moving faster than the other one is. So we're going to go with this first. Scotland aims to save wild salmon by planting millions of trees along the rivers. With salmon spawning rivers in Scotland reaching record temperatures. The country has launched a massive native tree planting campaign to cloak the shallows in shade in order to protect the frigid waters that the salmon prefer. Okay, we're going to be real careful. If this connects here, we will stop our cancellation. It doesn't connect there. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, what are we going to do? So the idea is we need at least one more in this area. Let's try it. This one needs at least 28, but no more. I think we can do that over here, actually. Yeah, we can do that over there. I think this might work. It does, it's a double. A double. Lovely. Last spawning season, for at least one day, the water temperatures in 70% of the spawning grounds were recorded as too high for salmon eggs to survive. But fresh water biologists discovered that only 30% of the riverine mileage had adequate tree cover to keep water temperatures cool throughout the day. There are a total of 64,000 miles, which is 103,000 kilometers, of salmon river habitat in Scotland, and the tree planting is hoped to increase the overall biodiversity of insect, bird, and plant life among them. That's typically what humans do, though. We kind of wait until we can see what the problem is, and then we just sort of go gung-ho, trailblazing to fix it all at once. We unlock the granary. Well, lovely. And this one needs 2 more, so we're not doing that just yet. But we'll keep it ready just in case we need it, right? Just in case. Because who knows if we might need it. Well, howdy there, Rain. I'm glad you could make it. I was doing some reading earlier, but I felt like playing a video game along with it. We just need 1 more of these bad boys. And there we go. We found it. Lovely. Let's place this over here. The tree nurseries include aspen, willow, hawthorn, Scots pine, native rowan, juniper, and birch. And we'll start with 250,000 individuals and grow to more than 1 million. The areas are to be fenced off to prevent them from being eaten by deer. Lovely potato there, Chia. Lovely potato. Always glad to see it. The angling season just started for salmon along rivers like the Dee in Aberdeenshire, near Cairngorms National Park. Deeside is one of the world's most famous salmon fishing rivers, and it's estimated to provide between 5 to 6 million euros annually to the local communities, which is about $78 million in that area. We need more people fishing, not just women and children, local angler Cameron Stewart told The Guardian. We gain so much from it, just being outside and being in the wild, even if you don't catch anything. You come back from the day feeling fulfilled. The River Dee is not the first river to feature these tree planting programs to create shade. Fishery boards across the country have experimented with shade tree planting and seen benefits to biodiversity because of it. And here's one that I think is an interesting one as well. But I hope this one doesn't rub anyone the wrong way. This is a weird looking setup right here. Cannabis could hold the key to preventing neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. As it contains a chemical that protects brain cells against aging, according to new research. Wow, gosh, all the research coming out these days is crazy to me. What's more, the miracle compound CBN, which is cannabinol, is non-psychoactive. In other words, it doesn't get people high. Senior author Professor Pamela Maher said, "We found cannabinol protects neurons from oxidative stress and cell death, two major contributors to Alzheimer's." Crazy. The discovery could one day lead to the development of new therapeutics for treating this disease and other neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's disease. Studies on medical cannabis have focused on the active substances THC, delta-9, tetrahydrocannabinol, and CBD. Cannabidiol. Gosh, some of these names are too much for me. Little is known about the therapeutic powers of CBN, which is molecularly similar but less heavily regulated. The team at the Salk Institute in California previously identified the neuroprotective properties. Now they have worked out the mechanism. Well, lovely. Hey, I mean, I am not the person who understands these things perfectly. I am, I like to say, a person who deeply respects the intricate nature of medicine and the eternal growth of our understanding of the world. However, I also know that we have to anticipate that we won't always know where things are going next, and we have to sort of be willing to sort of bend with the wind as opposed to standing so firm that we snap. If you've ever heard that before. We found a world wonder. Lovely. Let's see, where's the one place we could put this here? A 176 pluser. Oh my gosh. Do we have a 176 here? Just about. Lordy Lou. Okay, so it's over here. Well, let's start moving. Gotta move our body in the right direction. What am I doing? This isn't helping as much as I'd like it to, actually. That's fine, but we need to put some stuff over here. I'm forgetting about this completely. Unless it's already too late. Oh no. The cancellation can't be stopped now, I suppose. Well, folks, I was so focused on getting to that world wonder that I got us canceled. That's my bad. But nothing else. If nothing else, we did beat our old high score. So that's something. Lab experiments showed CBN stops a type of cell death called oxytosis. The process is triggered by the loss of an antioxidant called glutathione. In experiments, nerve cells were treated with CBN before oxidative damage was stimulated. Further analysis found CBN boosted mitochondria, the power stations of cells. In damaged neurons, oxidation caused them to curl up like donuts and change. And it's a change that's been seen in brains of people with Alzheimer's. Impregnating cells with CBN maintained their healthy shape and kept them functioning well. When the test was replicated in nerve cells with mitochondria removed, CBN was no longer effective, confirming the findings. Professor Maher, try again, said, "We were able to directly show maintenance of mitochondrial function was specifically required for the protective effects of the compound. The study showed also CBN did not activate cannabinoid receptors, which happens during a psychoactive response. Some medications containing it would work without causing an individual to become high." First author, Dr. Zibin Liang, said CBN is not a controlled substance like THC, the psychotropic compound in cannabis. Evidence has shown CBN is safe in animals and humans, And because CBN works independently of cannabinoid receptors, it could also work in a wide variety of cells with ample therapeutic potential. The study has implications for a range of neurodegenerative diseases, such as Parkinson's, which is also linked to glutathione loss. I don't know what a glutathione is. Professor Maher said mitochondrial dysfunction is implicated in changes in various tissues, not just in the brain and aging. It proves to me how little I know about all of this, honestly. Oh wow, that's a good roll right there. It's a very good roll. Kind of a ridiculous one even. Wow, we're getting some craziness right here, folks. Did we get a 6 that requires 6 more? Huh, interesting. Here's a tree at plus 40. Also interesting. This is a house at 23 plus. So we want one that only gives 6 more, and that one gives 7. Oh, okay. So slightly weird over here is what's going on, but I guess it's okay. Not too bad, just a little weird. This is looking kind of strange, actually. I like it. Huh. This is a weird one. I'm liking how weird it is, though, honestly. So this is looking for some more wheat. How have I been? I'm actually doing pretty good. I was a bit existential yesterday, and I was talking with some friends about it, and we're just going over, like, you know, the existential things that we all think of. But mostly I'm good. I hope that you're good too. We have to find a way to connect these two. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we have to find a way. That would help this one a lot, for sure. That would help this one. But mostly, I'm just hanging out. Just doing my best. Every day. All day. Good to hear. Well, thank you. There we go. But yeah, mostly I have just been trying to take some time for myself. Take some time to... It's okay, we can let that one go. Take some time to just consider and to think and to be clear and productive about what I'm planning to do next. I did a little bit of voice acting work too. I don't know if you saw the Discord post I made, but someone was saying they thought it was a nice recording that I had made, and it was kind of them to say so. There we go. So now we need to work on making one of these. This wants me to do 25 of these. Okay, well, let's try it. You know, let's see what happens. I guess it's working pretty well so far. Can we do something with this one? No, we kind of just place it here and let it sit for now. I don't think that would help though if we did that. Yeah, it's better. That would cap it off. I don't know if I want to do that, but I mean, we're here, so might as well. We're trying not to change the rotation of anything. I won't change any rotation. That makes me think of holes. But yeah, mostly just trying to take it easy. I do have a little bit of a thing to get into at some point, though, which I'm not sure when that will be. And it is a slightly thing to think about, but it's not always the greatest thing to be thinking. But nothing I can do about it besides just say I'll try better. There we go, I unlocked the bear tile. Heavyweight 2. Place 50 consecutive tiles without rotating a tile. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we're here. Might as well try it. It's working well so far, so I guess I can't say anything negative about it, right? We'll just put that there. This is a 174 pluser. Alright. Didn't I place one over here? I must be mistaken that if I didn't. I thought I had, but I'm more than likely a little wrong there. Let's see. I don't know where I can place this. It's a little strange placing these without thinking about it, because you're just like, oh, just place them. You have to find a spot for them, no matter what. Find a spot. Should I put this over here? No, it's kind of capping it off right there if I do that. We'll place it here. And then we'll place this here. So the fact this compound is able to maintain mitochondrial function suggests it could be even more beneficial beyond the context of Alzheimer's disease. She called for further research into CBN and other less studied cannabinoids in the marijuana plant. Professor Maher and colleagues are now seeing if they can reproduce the results in a preclinical mouse model. That sounds good to me. Oh, it's a bear. Look. There's a bear. You gotta stay away from that cabin bear. Who knows who's living in there? You've been more productive, you guess. Just small, boring steps. It's the boring steps that get us to where we're trying to go, though. You have to be boring before you can be interesting. It's alright to be either one. I know, nice little bear, right? Nice little bear hanging out. Hanging out with my bear. Okay, let's see, a 16 pluser. This can go right here. Oh no, I wanna, I can't do it. I have to let it slide wherever it is. Has to stand right there. That'd be great if I could just rotate that. Oh, why can't I rotate it? Oh, I'm so mad. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine right there. And then we'll do this right here. Wait, did I rotate one? I didn't rotate a tile. I didn't, did I? Oh, you have to start from the beginning. You can't start back at 25. Okay, well, I wish I had known that. Just saying now, I wish I had known that, but I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I mean, we're still doing pretty good despite that setback that we've just had. It doesn't quite fit the way I want it to. Excuse me, bumped the mic. So on to our next good news story. Doctors say cancer patients cured a decade after immune cell therapy at University of Pennsylvania has been developed. A 75-year-old California man has, after 10 years of observation, been declared free of cancer after an immune cell treatment wiped out his blood cancer, and a decade passed without it returning. It's pretty good news. Look, a twofer. This might be it's close to a one-fer as well. Let's see. Man, gosh, that sucks. It like rotated it for me without me asking. It's horrible. You should always ask someone before you rotate them. That's what I think. That's just what I think, but I'm pretty sure that that's an important one. Consent of rotation. The treatment is one of several next-generation treatments for cancer called CAR-T cell therapy, which retrains one of the most effective immune cells to target cancer fast and then stay on patrol for years, evolving to keep the cancer at bay. That's insane to me. I've never heard that before. It sounds insane. Like, I don't know how that would work. I have no idea. But, I mean, if it works, it works. Am I right? I'm doing great right now. I'm still very active. I was running half marathons until 2018. I hope that's the cure for cancer. Yeah, I mean, anything could improve it at least. This sounds like an improvement. Doug Olson, who lives in Pleasanton, California, told local news, "This is a cure, and they don't use the word lightly." Oh, well, there you go, Ring. There you go. In fact, it was only 3 weeks after the experimental treatment was administered that Olson's University of Pennsylvania doctors, Carl June and David Porter, got to sit Olson down and tell him the good news that they were not able to find a single cancer cell in his body. Well, wow. I mean, that's pretty darn good, I'd say. Pretty darn good. Not much else to say there but that. It's pretty darn good. Put that there. I need to connect these. What is going to connect these? Yeah, I need like a swooping connection right there. I need a swooping connection. Swoop. Swoop for me. No, not that well. I guess that would work, but I want something else there too. The cancer fighting paradigm for years had been to attack cancer cells radioactively or with other chemicals, due to the cancer's ability to disguise itself from the host's immune system. Now, several methods of therapies that involve reconfiguring the immune system to do its job right are being used on thousands of patients. Oh, no, I hit the mouse button. Oh, I ruined it. Oh, why did I do that? The streak has been broken. That is a very disappointing thing to do by accident. Extremely disappointing. Okay, well, I guess we're starting the streak over. Starting fresh from a different area. Starting from over here. CAR stands for the protein chimeric antigen receptors. My lord, what a name. Which can detect tumors and allow the T cells to attack them. They're extracted from the patient, genetically engineered to produce CAR, and then reintroduced. So far, 5 such treatments have been approved by the FDA to treat leukemias, lymphomas, and myelomas. Dr. June estimates that tens of thousands of people have received CAR T cell treatment so far. While it can cure people, it's not a miracle cure. It remains expensive and technically demanding, while leading to only 25 to 35% of people in total remission. As is the case with Olson, Dr. June and Porter believe that with continual refinement, that percentage can increase. I got the boar! Ooh, the boar, the boar, the boar, the boar. Complete 50 quests in total. Well, I'm not going to be up. I know, right? For Olsen, he's regularly running with his son to try and keep himself in prime condition. If my cancer was gone, I certainly didn't want to die of a heart attack, he told Nature. Well, good for you, my man. Good for you. I respect that. But I hope you guys are alright with me being just a little bit low energy today. I'm not sure why. It's been a while since I've, I don't know, felt energetic today. I do think it has something to do with the lack of caffeine I've had. But I'm not, like, necessarily tired. I do feel a little sleepy, but I'm not in this position where I'm, like, falling asleep. But I'm aware that I haven't had that much caffeine today. I'm aware. Well, thank you. For the most part, like, I'm just like, well, you know, I'm just hanging out. Nothing too special going on right now. You know, nothing too special. Oh, it's one of those railroads, okay. I'd prefer to do something a little bit further away than that. I guess that's what I've got right now. I'll do that. A 16 water. Doesn't like that. What about this? Good. I want to put this one where it can actually be used more effectively than there. I mean, it's a good one, but, I mean, this will get finished almost immediately if I do that. Look at that. Oh, that's great. I guess it's getting closed in, though, over time. Which is okay. I mean, that just happens, right? You can't always stop things from changing. That's alright. I guess wanting to make a weirdly perfect looking map is not really helpful in this game, because this game is not about making things perfect. It's about seeing the dysfunction and the slightly asymmetrical and, you know, unusual shape of some things, which is completely alright. Some things are just shaped a little different. No problem with that. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, it's a bear. A 341 pluser of a bear. The bear tile. You've been a bit crazy today and annoyed with your family. Well, I'm sorry about that. You don't drink caffeine. It's probably a good decision to not drink caffeine, if I'm being honest with you. But, I mean, my family is pretty deep into the caffeine. You know, we seem to drink quite a bit, which, I mean, I don't think is a problem, but there's certainly, you can, oh, that was a good placement. You can certainly drink too much caffeine, And I think me and my whole family have sort of all taken a knock at that by mistake at one point or another. It's probably a good idea not to drink it if you ask me. Best to not use it if you can help it. I love this part of the music. Ah, so good. A 127 pluser. I think we can make this one work right here before it has to get closed off. See what strange looking shapes you can make with these. What strange looking things you can make. It's going very well though, actually. This is going quite well. You tried it before, but it was caused too much energy and was shaking badly. So I drink hot cocoa at Dunkin' Donuts and pretend it's coffee. Oh, that's adorable. I really like that. I like pretending that I'm drinking coffee sometimes too. It makes me feel like I fit in a little bit more, even though I actually don't care that much, but it's a fun little thing to do. I agree. It's a cute thing to do, and it is fun. I'm glad to hear from you, Rain. I really am. Ah, look at that. Well, this is a fairly interesting looking place we've made. Lots of strange sort of detours and places where it doesn't always make the most sense for things to be, but I mean, what really is like making sense as far as buildings go and nature? It makes a sense that nature exists in whatever way it exists, but I don't think nature is ever like, oh, you know, there was definitely going to be trees in this spot right here that I'm pointing at. I guess if there just aren't, then there just aren't, and you can't force that to change, can you? You can't really just make a tree appear, right? Just because you think it should be there. You know, if you were just blindfolded and pushed around, you're like, oh, there must be a tree right there. There must be a tree right there. No guarantees, am I right? Trees just exist the way they exist. Is there a chance I could have a 9 right here? No, I need more. I need a couple of 7s in a row is what would do it to get that 14. Which I think we can manage. That would be a good 14 to grab. You're going with the flow? Me too. Me too. I feel ya. Okay, that's the one I've been looking for, actually. There we go. Now we can move this in a direction away from just there. Good. Good, we got one down there. We can put this here for later. And we can put this here. I want to see if I can put a perfect here. I'm not sure I'll be able to, though. I'm worried about that a little bit. Just a little worried about it. Have I found it? No wonders yet. That would end it, though, if I do that. Okay, so we're going to put that there. That's a 7. That's what I'm looking for. So we need another 7 and we'll be good there. Where is that road on the far left leading to? Road, do you mean the river? because that's a big old river, but it doesn't quite lead anywhere yet. You know what I mean? Not just yet. Yeah, I know. It has like a detailing to it that makes it look a little more dark than I think it would normally look, and so it's kind of hard to tell that it's a river. But it isn't. It is a very strange, but still a river-looking river. Still a river, even if it's strange-looking. This is a 36 pluser. I think this is going to be the one we're going to put right here. We still want to go for this one first, though. It's the most close to being finished that we've got. This is a 16er. I'm worried about that. Uncancelled. We just need one more like house of 7 houses, and we could get that really big bonus. That really, really big bonus. Whew. Uncancelled. No roads. Well, you know, nature has its own roads, you could say, but I don't have the best answer there for sure. I can only tell you that I think that mostly roads in nature are like the paths of trees and things like that. It's not really a thing that actually is a road for anybody but the animals who use them, you know. They're not meant for roads to be, they're not roads meant to be for us, I think. Okay, so if I put this there, I do that there. Okay, gosh. Whew. Barely just skirting by. Oh my gosh. And we have done 37 quests. Holy moly. Gorgonzoli. I think we're not going to be able to take this one because it's more important to me to get the 1 right now than the 7 later, because we may not make it to see the 7 otherwise. I know, right? Holy moly Bertoli. That's a good one. Also a good one. Okay, so we don't have a mission for the railroads at the moment, so we're just going to place that there. Wait, what did I... Oh my gosh, I just lost us I think I just lost the entire game right there. I did, actually. Oh no, that's a Lordy Lou right there. That's a bad one. Well, I got us canceled, folks. I'm sorry about that. Still, though, we did pretty good. We got some bears in there. And even 1 bear is pretty good. Well, I do think I'm going to end this episode a little early. So, I hope that you guys have had a great time. Chi-Chi, thank you. I hope you've had a great time. And thank you, as always, for, showing up for a little while. Oh, who is it? Is it Lily? Oh, hello, Lily. I hope that you're doing great. Yeah, I'm a little tired today, but I'm so glad that you could make it. Oh, thank you for all the emotes, everybody. Yeah, I'm still getting used to, I guess. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I recently had a medication change. To go off of a medication permanently, and this might be just a slight side effect, but I used to take 3 medications. Now I only take 2. I am still getting used to 2022. That's part of it as well. But I am down to taking only 2 medications, and it is really, really important for me to be able to say that to some degree, because the idea of being sort of bound to taking medications has bothered me in some way, I have to admit. And so being like, hey, I don't need it anymore, it's really incredible to me, and I don't, I guess, quite know the way to exist without it completely just yet. But I guess it's a great thing, right? As to live without a medication that you used to need. I'm so glad that you stopped in, though, Lily. I'm glad to hear from you. It's been too long. But you guys have all my love, and I hope you know that I enjoy hanging out with you every Saturday, and that I'll see you again real soon. Drop by on my YouTube if you'd like to. Just search Cash Cheese Mishima on YouTube and you'll find me. You guys have a lovely night. Stay safe, and take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, RFL season. Lovely. I'd love to hear about that. See you guys next time.